Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're talking about one of the most shocking developments in the ongoing war between Ukraine and Russia, a massive strike that destroyed one of Russia's key bridges, all caught on camera in a jaw-dropping explosion that has sent shockwaves across the region. This isn't just another military attack. It's a powerful message from Ukraine to Moscow that no target is beyond reach. The footage of the explosion has spread across the internet like wildfire, showing an enormous fireball erupting in the night sky as a critical piece of Russian military infrastructure goes up in flames. This bridge was not just a simple structure. It was a lifeline for Russian logistics. It connected vital routes used to transport weapons, ammunition, and reinforcements to Russian front lines. For months, Russian convoys had relied on it to maintain their occupation in key areas. And now, in one calculated strike, Ukraine has managed to cripple that supply line. The precision of the attack, the timing, and the scale of the explosion all suggest careful planning, intelligence gathering, and possibly the use of advanced Western-supplied weapons. What's truly remarkable is how this attack was executed with such accuracy that it hit the exact weak point of the bridge, causing maximum destruction with minimal resources. In the aftermath, videos posted on social media show massive flames engulfing the structure, chunks of concrete collapsing into the water, and smoke visible for miles. Witnesses describe hearing a thunderous blast that shook nearby towns. Russian authorities were quick to call it a terrorist attack, while Ukraine has remained deliberately vague, neither confirming nor denying direct involvement, a strategy they've used effectively before. But make no mistake, the message is clear. Ukraine is striking deeper and harder than ever, targeting the very arteries that sustain Russia's war effort. This latest strike follows a pattern of Ukrainian attacks on high-value Russian infrastructure. From the Crimea Bridge to air bases and ammunition depots, Ukraine has shown an impressive ability to adapt, innovate, and hit back. What's fascinating is that each of these attacks is not just a military blow, but also a psychological one. Russia has long prided itself on its ability to defend its territory and maintain control over occupied regions. But when its key military routes start going up in smoke, the illusion of control begins to crumble. The morale of Russian troops on the ground takes a hit, while Ukrainian forces and civilians gain renewed confidence that victory is possible. Military analysts believe that this latest strike was aimed not only to disrupt Russian logistics, but also to test the response of Russian air defense systems. The fact that the explosion was so powerful and caught the defenders off guard raises serious questions about Russia's ability to protect its critical assets. If Ukraine can repeatedly breach these defenses, it shows a growing technological and tactical edge, something that has been developing steadily thanks to Western training, intelligence sharing, and precision-guided weaponry. Beyond the battlefield, the symbolic meaning of this strike cannot be ignored. Bridges represent connection, control, and dominance. Destroying one of them sends a message not only to the Russian military but also to the Kremlin itself, that Ukraine can sever those connections any time it chooses. It's a statement of power and resilience. In many ways, Ukraine's strikes on infrastructure are rewriting the narrative of this war. Instead of playing purely defensive, Ukraine is now taking the fight directly to Russia's logistics network, undermining the enemy's ability to sustain long-term operations. Meanwhile, Russia's reaction has been both defensive and confused. State media immediately blamed Western weapons, particularly British and American missiles, claiming that Ukraine would not have been able to carry out such a precise attack without NATO assistance. This kind of narrative isn't new. It's part of Russia's ongoing attempt to frame the war as a fight against the entire West, rather than just Ukraine. But the real story here is that Ukrainian ingenuity and intelligence are at the heart of these operations. Even if Western equipment is being used, it's the strategic brilliance of Ukraine's planners that makes these strikes so effective. Reports from the region suggest that Russian engineers are now scrambling to assess the damage and begin repairs. But experts say it could take months, maybe even longer, to restore full functionality. And during that time, Russia's military operations in the affected areas will suffer. Supply shortages, delays in troop movements, and reduced firepower are likely to follow. This isn't just a physical blow. It's an operational one that could shift the balance in nearby front lines. What makes this moment even more significant is the timing. The attack comes just as Russia has been trying to fortify its defenses and ramp up new offensives before winter sets in. With supply routes disrupted, those plans may now be in jeopardy. For Ukraine, this victory boosts morale and serves as a reminder that strategic strikes can yield huge results, even without large-scale offensives. The psychological impact on both sides could shape the next phase of the war. In addition, this explosion once again exposes the weaknesses in Russia's security infrastructure. Despite heavy investments in surveillance, radar, and air defense systems, Ukrainian forces keep finding ways to penetrate those layers. Each successful strike chips away at the myth of Russian invincibility. Videos of the explosion have now become a powerful piece of propaganda, not just for Ukraine, but also for its allies. It demonstrates that aid is being used effectively, and that every missile, drone, and piece of intelligence shared is making a tangible difference on the battlefield. On social media, Ukrainian officials have posted cryptic remarks. The bridge is down. Logistics are cut. More to come. These subtle but confident statements show a growing boldness in Ukraine's communication strategy. They know that each success story helps attract more international support, financial aid, and public sympathy. In contrast, Russian authorities are working overtime to control the narrative, limiting the spread of videos and trying to prevent domestic unrest. But in the digital age, it's almost impossible to hide the truth. The world has already seen the explosion, and it has become a symbol of Ukraine's determination to fight back. The destruction of this key bridge will likely force Russia to reroute its logistics through less efficient and more vulnerable paths, stretching its resources thinner than ever. For Ukraine, that means new opportunities to target supply lines, convoys, and rail systems. Every disruption adds pressure on the Russian military machine, and the cumulative effect of these strikes could be decisive in the months to come. As the war drags on, attacks like these remind us that this conflict is not static. Ukraine continues to evolve, technologically, strategically, and psychologically. Each successful operation boosts its confidence and demonstrates that precision warfare can sometimes achieve more than massive ground assaults. What's more, it proves to Russia and the world that Ukraine's resistance is far from broken. Instead, it's growing smarter, faster, and more capable with each passing month. The footage of the explosion will likely be studied for weeks, not just by military experts, but by the public as well. The bright flash, the towering flames, and the collapsing bridge serve as visual proof of Ukraine's reach. In modern warfare, perception can be as powerful as the blast itself. Every viral clip becomes part of a larger narrative of resistance and defiance. In the end, Ukraine's strike on Russia's key bridge isn't just a tactical victory, it's a turning point in psychological warfare. It shows that Russia's infrastructure, once thought untouchable, is now within Ukraine's crosshairs. It demonstrates that Ukraine's strategy is evolving from defense to offense, hitting where it hurts most. And most importantly, it reminds the world that this war is far from over. The fight continues not only on the battlefield, but also in the minds of those watching. And this explosion, captured in vivid detail, has already made its mark in history. As more details emerge, one thing is certain: the strike has reshaped the landscape of this conflict. It's a sign that Ukraine is not backing down, and that every bridge, every supply route, every symbol of occupation is now a potential target. The explosion may have lasted only seconds, but its impact will be felt for months, perhaps even years, to come.